Okay, great. Hi, everybody. I'm going to share my slides right now. Then we can take a look at our agenda for today. Thanks for taking a time to join us. Okay, great. So for today, right, I will be addressing some parts. Okay, then after that, we will have the Q&A from the previous SP conference on the new curriculum and the global awareness. Later on, we will also get our SPCom members to share on personal mastery. We have a Q&A session. You can type your questions in the chat function, and we will have a closing prayer and vesper as well. Okay, hi everybody. Yeah, these are my contact. This is my contact detail. Please feel free to email me if you have any questions, or you can email the HQ staff as well. Yeah, maybe just some common understanding before we start our session today. Just as we are usually in the spirit of prayer in our daily walk with God, right? Can I also strongly suggest for you to be prayerful throughout this entire session as well, okay? To be in the constant spirit of prayer and to stay positive when you maybe listen to some of the things that that will be shared later on. Stay positive and then enjoy this process that we are going to have together, okay? Now, this is something that we are actually currently doing. I have shared this before, but this is just a recap that how we want to equip our companies with a new curriculum. As of now, we're actually sharing the new curriculum. And later on as well, be getting the pilot companies to do sharing. But currently, right, because some of our SPCom members are in the pilot company, so they'll be sharing their own experiences as well and how they will conduct the lessons in the new curriculum. Later on, in the later part under leadership, there'll be more components on this, on the facilitation and questioning skills as well. In terms of resources, we are still currently reviewing the existing resources done by the vendor. We have already obtained the editable versions of resources from vendor, so we are currently still editing. We are also currently editing reviewing the CE lesson guides also in the new curriculum. Yeah, and the rubrics has been done from the GA side. And we are still also in our training, we'll provide some scaffolding questions or templates that will help you to implement this to the boys. And later on, hopefully that we can have more sharing resources by the companies as well. Yeah, so for admin for the new curriculum, yes, we have to design new badges in time to come. However, because the committee is still reviewing the resources for the new curriculum, that is why we are actually stalling this for a while first. And we are still using the existing badges. So later on, we'll talk more about this in detail. I just met up with the vendor today about setting up a new portal for the boys so that it is a more seamless process. And in time to come as well, we will be designing a new BB handbook for seniors based on the new curriculum. Has an overview. So today we have already done our GA in the SP conference in March. So now we're actually having it in April, which is the personal mastery. And these are the other dates as well. So please log this into your calendar. And we will share more details with you. So this is our committee as of now. And I'm very, very proud to say that, and very, very happy that after the suggestion from last SP conference, right? Eugene from 14 company has actually answered our call to join the SPCom. So we want to welcome him to our committee as well. And today you'll be hearing him share some components on the personal mastery also. Okay, because we are still looking at people to join the committee, feel free to apply, okay? Please always seek your approval from your captain before you apply as well. We are really looking for people to join the team to continue to review the resources because we have so much resources to talk about. So we actually need your help to come in to help us in this area. Okay. Now, this is something new. You can take a picture while I'm going to share on this slide. There is seniors programs ad hoc projects application. Because what is happening is that my main committee, we are actually very busy in reviewing the resources for the new curriculum. So we do have ad hoc projects that you can apply to join us. also. So please remember to seek approval from your captain before you apply. So there's no limit in the number of ad hoc projects that you can apply. Just that, just make sure that maybe you have the time to join and to contribute as well in these ad hoc projects. So you can take a picture of this slide first. Okay. Now there are 3 ad hoc projects that you can join us. One is that you can help us to review the character development lessons within each lesson guide, the CE lessons actually. So actually, we actually have 115 lesson guides that we need to review for the CE component. So that is quite a large number that I don't think my team, we are actually struggling with this part. So if we have more help, it will be very good. Also, Founders Award presentation ceremony. If you're keen to join us as well, please feel free to join us. And CQ also, if you want to join the CQ committee. Now, for the CE lessons, this is what you need to do, just to help us to ensure that the verses for each lesson is relevant and that the flow for each lesson is logical. So the average time needed to review each lesson is about 30 minutes. You may state your preferred number of lessons to review out of the 115 lessons that we need to review. So you also will need to attend a briefing session so that we can let you know how to review the lessons, and also debrief sessions as well on how to refine the reviewed lessons. For the FAPC on the 2nd of July, you will need to coordinate or plan the program for the ceremony. And then there'll be about 4 meetings that you will need to attend, which will be on weekday nights as well. If you're keen, please join us in the CQ committee as well to plan or coordinate the indoor segment and outdoor segment, which are the games. There will be about 10 meetings, which will also be on weekday nights. Okay, so now we will go into the curriculum overview. And sorry, this is the agenda from the previous officers conference. Curriculum overview with the requirements for IPA, SPA, and FA, and we actually share on global awareness as well. So now what we are going to do is that there were many questions which were raised during the session last SP conference. So now we're going to address some of the questions. So you can find all the SP conference materials here in the officers, in the seniors portal. Okay, so this is the resources where you can find. And I will just share with you. So these are the things that we went through last SP conference about each of the domains and the summary for each of them, what it entails. In terms of IPA as well, just a summary also. Personal mastery, there's basic adventure, basic drill, and you just need one other elective for one more, which is actually just entails one more point. For the community spiritedness, you will need to do 2 stakeholder events advanced, okay? Which means you need to have 15 hours of community service per year for 2 years, which means a total of 30 hours of com service hours per in the 2 years. Global awareness, like what we shared before, is the minimum of 2 out of 13 foci, and 6 basic leadership lessons, any 6 actually. This is also this is for SPA. In terms of personal mastery, you just need to add 3 more points, okay? And then global awareness, you need to be the advanced stage, and community spiritedness will be the same as the IPA as well. And you need to complete all 12 leadership lessons for the advanced stage. And also please remember that you need to do the total events advanced as well. For the Founders Award, personal mastery is additional 2 more points. Community spiritedness will be the master level. Global awareness is also the master level. And leadership will also be the master level as well. So these are the requirements. So this is what we went through last session about the scaffolding also, about the GA level. So you can take a look at for more details inside the BB portal. Now, since these are the Q&A, so is the SP training open to primers? Subsequently, for the training sessions on leadership and community spiritedness, it will be open to the primers, just that only for today, because there will be a significant amount of like CE component. So that is why we actually only open to the officers. Will there be a handbook like we mentioned just now? This will be in the pipeline. But however, we are still reviewing the lesson guides in the new curriculum this year as well. How do we translate the basic, advanced, and master levels into physical batches? Does it mean that the white cloth is for advanced level and red cloth is for master level? Yes, as of now, white cloth is for advanced level and the red cloth is for the master level. This is on leadership domain. Boys have to submit the leadership journal. They do not have to, but it is good that you help to track the leadership opportunities for the boys, together with the boys on what their journey, on their leadership journey in your company thus far. For community spiritedness, for the CS in IPA and SPA, do the boys have to complete 1 or 2 stakeholder events? Because this will be like what I've said just now, right? It will be on the advanced level, so which means it will be 1 stakeholder event and 15 hours of CS per year. So in other words, they will need to complete 30 hours of CS and 2 stakeholder events. What are some of the examples of stakeholder events? These are the stakeholder events you can find in the lesson guide in C 3.1, 3.2, and 3.3. So you can go to this. This is the pathway to the resource of these lesson guides. You can take a look there. So what are the 3 types of stakeholder events that you can actually hold? Firstly, it will be from the church, family, or school. So you can just take a look. All these are actually in the lesson guide, but I just CV it out so that it's easier for you to see. So for 3.1 church stakeholder event, there are different types of coordination and client interaction. For year 1, year 2, year 3s, that means the Sec 1, Sec 2, and Sec 3s. Some of the possible projects are shown here. So you can just take a look more in detail as well. In terms for the family stakeholder event, so these are some of the possible projects that the Sec 1, Sec 2, and Sec 3s can also participate in also. Next is the school stakeholder event. Yeah, so these are also some of the possible projects for the Sec 1, Sec 2s, and Sec 3s. So usually if you notice the Sec 1s, it's really very low level kind of coordination with the stakeholders. But and the year 3s, you will have much higher level of coordination with the stakeholders. Okay, for community spiritedness, does BB Cares, which already falls under the 15 hours of comm service, count towards the stakeholder engagement if the beneficiary of our BB Cares is either the church, family, or school? So the intent for BB Cares is to serve the community. So the beneficiary should not be the church, family, or school. Yeah, so it should be if you take a look at this domain here, right? You see engaging the stakeholders is like they are the 3 groups of stakeholders here. So BB Cares should be a separate component under the 15 hours of the community service. Now I will just pass the time to Jiaming, okay, who will be sharing the Q&A for the global awareness. I just want to put on record that Matthew from 12i as well has also helped in the global awareness training and also in the crafting the Q&A responses. Jiaming, please. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I think I would need a little bit help to go on to the next slide or so lah. Okay. So yeah. So this is just the Q&A that we actually gathered from the previous session. I think especially when it was during the SP conference, definitely we have a lot more people who had quite a number of questions, and we understand the anxiety, and also at the same time we understand that these questions at the heart of it are for the boys lah, for them to at best to have the best experience of all this. Yeah, so one thing that we want to put aside is that it is we know that these resources will not be something that one size fits all, and definitely we would need the primers and the officers to actually guide them through, to have something to guide them through the lessons or even crafting the content a lot. I would say quite a fair bit, or maybe you can think about how you can gamify the project itself, and then for them to be engaged in. To be honest, for myself, it's more towards of finding what are they truly interested in, and then to see what they can do. If not, if you feel that your boys are struggling to come up with a topic, it is all right. It's perfectly fine for you yourself, to just assign the topic for them, and then they will just do the the research work along the way. Ultimately, the main aim is really for them to have that research skills, to come together to go through this project and then to see the results that they can fulfill it. And definitely it is it is engaging, and also it really surprises you will be surprised of how deep your boys can go, really. Yeah. So also on this, right, so in the future there will also be an interactive tool for in the BB portal itself to engage the boys in these lessons. All right, so we go to the next slide. Okay, so so we talk about the facilitation of the GA, for global awareness for short. Okay, so the question is, will there be a guide, for GA training to be used by boys? Sorry, was the guide shared during the GA training used the boys during a physical face-to-face, or was it communicated virtually? I think this question, I think if I'm not wrong, I tried to answer it during the conference itself. So really, I think this topic, going through this content itself, you can use both whether or not face-to-face or virtually. So face-to-face, it's really something that definitely is a lot easier for all of us, because we can really track the progress of the boys. We can just peep through what the boys are actually researching on, and then afterwards to maybe correct them on the spot or things itself, or even for you to physically be there to facilitate some sort of discussion, together with the boys, and then you see how they bounce ideas with one another. Of course, face-to-face is the best, but however, when it comes to a virtual platform, depending on your own companies, whether you have virtual parades or not, what I do, what I've practiced last year is that what I do, this is just a suggestion to all. So what I do is I actually do a Google slide for every one of them. And then each boy will take one slide each. So I quickly gave a very, very brief task for them to do. So firstly, you need to find the background of the country and the community or the situation. So the boys need to come up with 2 websites where they will paste their link over at the Google slide. And then after that, I need them to type down what they have found, what are the learning points and how it can help one another understand the situation of that community a lot better. So one boy will take 1 slide. And then after that, they finish it already. Then at the end of it, when for example, I give them 30 minutes to research. At the end of 30 minutes, because it's an online platform, right, the engagement part really has to be intentional. So what I will do is that I will ask each boy to share what they have researched on. And then that's where, the boys can also articulate their own ideas, and also for them to churn out what they have researched out, and then to share, and then to realize that this is actually something quite worthwhile to do and quite interesting. So this is what I do. This is what I practiced with my boys last year, that I use Google Slides to teach, to go through their lesson. And also, so that's the first part. Then the second one, when I asked them to come up with solutions, they did the same thing. And it was a lot easier for me as a facilitator to actually go through all of them. At least I have reference of whether or not this boy is just slacking, just put one website and then that's it and pangkang. Then I will prod them like, hey, for example, hey, Adro, you need to write your summary. Don't just copy paste from the article and things like that. So Google Slide is very useful. And I also especially so that that it is everyone has access to it. Yeah, so that is something that I would encourage or maybe a best practice that I can share today. Okay, let's go to the next one, which is the depth of GA. Okay, so this question was posted, how do we make current affairs relevant for the Sec2s? Because I think maybe some of y'all think that it's a foreign concept, and maybe they don't have the habit of reading all these current affairs issues. So so maybe some of y'all feel that it's very forced. Yeah, so to me and to the team, right, is that after learning the research skills, it is really a platform for them to go and try out these research skills. For example, how to Google certain keywords inside, and then to find news articles, or maybe like readings, or maybe like writings and that kind of thing. And then really to target on things that they are interested in. Don't be surprised that actually the boys maybe know a bit more things than us. in certain areas. I talk about Russian politics, and I was a bit like, wow, okay, quite taken aback, but okay lah, that's what you're interested in, then go on. Another suggestion is that for us to look inward to see what's around us as well. For example, something closer to them, or maybe they can talk about the community that they face. For example, if your boys are going to for BB Cares, a beneficiary, for example, like you heading over to Mines, the Mines school itself, the school for the special needs students, and that's where the boys can already see for themselves. The boys can already observe, and then afterwards have a research deeper in that. Maybe that could be an opportunity. Or maybe if a beneficiary would be over to an elderly center, and then that could be the community that you can actually focus on. So these are things that the boys can relate to. These are things that the boys can actually see, observe, and maybe to jump in and think a bit more like, is it more to this than just the surface level of just seeing? For example, like poverty in Singapore or homelessness in Singapore, or even to study about the people who, the uncle and aunties who are selling tissue packets around the area. So these are things that we see in Singapore as well. And then they could be topics of interest for the boys too. Okay, so we go to the next slide. Okay, so the project done by pilot company sounds quite intensive and deep. I'm not too sure whether some of our boys have the cognitive ability to do the master level. Okay, so again, I mentioned that the boys who passed the GA master level in 2021 were actually a mixture of students, not just so it includes the low progress students as well. Okay, and of course the BBHQ and also the SP committee will ensure that the fairness will be judged, will be dealt with, in the project itself. But really, to me is that I think really don't underestimate the boys. You might never know how much they would really go deep on certain things, and also to have an open mind of how much they can go, how far they can go in these research skills as well. Yeah, like what I mentioned in my experience is that my boys surprised me that they were able to find quite reliable resources. When I gave them some context, they were able to find things that were pinpoint to the issue or pinpoint to the community itself. And I had a proud officer moment, like, wow, I didn't know my boys had this in them. Yeah, so that was something that I experienced, and I hope that you do as well. What are some deliverables for GA, for basic advanced, for Form 32A? So again, this has been shared already, so I won't go in so much into details. Okay, so the next one, do we have to submit their reflections or research? So we don't have to submit the reflections for GA basic. Okay, and the internal presentation write-up from the research of the GA advanced. So only the master level, then that's where you need to actually come up with your content. Whether or not is it a PowerPoint slide or a video or whatnot, for us, content for us to judge and to score accordingly. Okay, but whereas for the basic and advanced, actually all the officers need to do is to submit a nominal row, indicating who has passed and who has failed, according to the GA basic and advanced, the criteria itself. All right. So for the next one, which is still the admin for GA. So if boys already have citizenship 2 in the Form 32A, does it translate over? So for this, right, okay, for the boys who are transiting over to the old curriculum to the new one, okay, it means that if they are stage 1, right, they will have a GA basic. Okay, then if they are stage 2, they will have a GA advanced respectively. All right, but of course, because eventually, right, these administrative details need to be completed in the BB members portal. Okay, eventually for your founders, your SPA and things like that, right? Okay, we still have to apply under GA itself. All right, and not citizenship. Okay, next one. Do we award citizenship badge for the completion of GA basic and community service badge for the completion of the community spiritedness? Okay, so I know this because everyone thinks that this is a new curriculum and then we will expect new badges. Yes, I mean, I also had that kind of expectation. Okay, but of course, as of this period of time, okay, the designs are still in the pipeline of the SV committee, and we are trying to still review the curriculum first and the resources this year. I think that is more paramount in terms of the priority. And then secondly is that we'll be using the existing citizenship badge for the global awareness for now until the new design comes out. Okay, and lastly, that we will be using the community service badge for the community spiritedness for now as well.